Welcome. Well, good morning, Chelsea. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, as you know, I did have a panel on the metaverse and the matrix already. So now, what I'm going to cover now is a few things about the metaverse. There's going to be also a lady demonstrating her wearing the virtual reality visor thing on her face, and then she talks as she goes through using the thing on her face. Then the metaverse is also referenced in a couple movies. Also, the metaverse also has a couple other things going on too. But if I can cover it without interruptions, I'll cover it. Or if not, I'll just do video. Because my daughter might come in or whatever, and it is distracting sometimes on videos when there's a voice in the background or something. So I'm going to show right now the creator of the Facebook, who's now showing the glimpse of the metaverse. So when you're seeing the maker explain certain things, but it's not about exactly. I mean, he's showing the good side of it, but there is other sides to it as well, which we already explained the other day. So I would read a couple bits of it, of this article. Hopefully it's not me repeating what he's going to say. So Mark Zuckerberg has revealed a glimpse of Facebook plans to build the metaverse, a digital world built over our own comparison of the virtual reality headsets and reality. The product launch came as the social media giant announced it will change the name of its holding company to Meta in a rebrand that comes as the company faces series of public relations crisis. So let's see him saying about the good side of it, because they always show the good side. They never show possibility if what if. So there's many allegations or stuff happening on the metaverse as well, which I might go through. And if I don't go through on this one, like I said, I'll bring it back. I'll do a third one. Okay. So I did show a video similar to this already, but we're gonna see it again. Okay.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. All right, perfect.
Boy.
Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Mark. What's up, Mark?
Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from the creator I met in LA.
This place is amazing.
Boz, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to be the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
Whoa.
I knew you were bluffing.
Hey, wait. Where is Naomi?
Let's call her.
Naomi.
Hey, should we deal you in?
Hey, sorry I'm running late, but you've got to see what we're checking out. There's an artist going around Soho hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
Send that link over so we can all look at it. This is stunning.
Okay, that is something.
That's awesome. Wow.
I love the movement.
Wait, it's disappearing.
This is amazing.
Hold on. I'll tip the artist and they'll extend it.
Wow. Brilliant.
If you guys like it here, I have another room that you're gonna love. Check out this forest room.
Huh, let's see it.
Koi fish that fly? That's new.
This is wild. Hey, one sec, Boz. It's Priscilla.
Hey, you have to see this. Beast is going crazy.
Oh, I love that guy. We've got to show that to the kids. Can you also send that to my dad?
I'll message him.
All right, see you at home. This place is great, Boz, but there's something I got to get back to. All right, so that's a glimpse of a few ways that we're going to be able to get together and socialize in the metaverse.
So a lady, she went and she tried to do the metaverse for like 24 hours. So I'm going to show how she works through with the visor upon her head, the virtual reality headset on her head, to give you an idea. So is the metaverse really the big thing? Everybody's babbling about metaverse, but what does this digital world look like? So Jonas Strong checked into a hotel and strapped on a virtual reality headset for the day. She went to work, meetings, hang out with new avatar friends, and attended virtual shows. So I'm not going to read because it will just go over what he just said earlier.
Now, the best way to understand the metaverse is to experience it yourself.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel very well right now.
And you wouldn't feel well either if you attempted to spend 24 hours living in virtual reality or the metaverse. Don't know what the metaverse is? That's okay. I'm not sure anyone really does. But Meta, formerly known as Facebook, Microsoft, and more, are defining it as the virtual world that is the next phase of the internet. In this world, we have digital versions of ourselves, or avatars.
And we call this the metaverse. And you're going to be able to do almost anything you can imagine. Get together with friends and family, work, learn, play, shop.
So I decided, why wait? And stupidly, I dared myself to visit the metaverse for a full 24 hours in its current, not-so-great state. In fact, Meta and others will tell you that the metaverse isn't even here yet. But the best way to see the start of it is through virtual reality. And since I didn't want to pop into a headset with my kids running around, I packed my bags and moved to the Holiday Inn Express around the corner. I set a few rules. The headset can come off to eat and go to the bathroom.
No.
Yes, I attempted to sleep with it on. I checked my phone only if it was urgent. I had notifications coming into the headset.
It's about to be 6 p.m., which is the start of my metaverse journey. I've got 2 headsets in case of technical issues and lots of apps and other things preloaded for different parts of the day and night. What could go wrong?
Welcome to Beat Saber. Now cut the cubes in the arrow direction and match the color. That was too soon. Wait for the beat. Wrong direction. Wrong direction.
She's very mean.
I started with games, like Beat Saber, since right now they're the most popular use of VR. And while many games allow you to play with others, I had no real friends to play Beat Saber with that evening. So I decided to go elsewhere for some social interaction. Altspace VR, an app that allows you to hang out with other avatars in virtual venues.
Okay, I'm gonna customize my avatar for a night out. I guess in the metaverse, I could have short hair.
I wasn't exactly prepared for what would happen next.
I guess I'll go to this campfire hub. Hello?
Yeah.
As soon as I was in the public area, I started hearing people talk and chat, and apparently there are no masks in the metaverse. I was dropped into an area with lots of trippy little Lego-looking people, and I attempted to interview them.
You're a journalist, are you?
Wow. I want to learn what you guys do in here.
Pretty much everything that you would do in the real world.
I knew I had really made friends forever when they asked me to go to a comedy club by clicking on this portal thing. The club was so obviously fake, but my presence in it and the presence of all these other people felt really real.
Do you guys have wine?
Yeah, of course. Wine, everything you want, just imagine.
I even felt awkward when the comedian hit on my avatar.
The girl that I was trying to find out your name, but I can't because my hands all, I'm trying to be subtle.
I spent a good amount in alt space and came away thinking it's like an AOL chat room, evolved, which...
That is so weird because, like, it looks really weird in there, isn't it? Now, can you imagine now, right, you're in there and people's hitting on you, perfect strangers, you don't know who they are, nothing at all. So apparently there was either an SA that happened on one of the Metaverse, but I'll get to that point. And then, right, let's see what else happens as she continues to wear the virtual reality helmet for 24 hours.
I'm not sure is a good or a bad thing.
I need to relax for a moment. Meditation app is launched. Okay.
Kindness starts with you.
I highly recommend meditation apps like Guided Meditation or Trip. It's oddly relaxing and peaceful. And I could lie to you and tell you I slept with the headset on the whole night, but we have this proof. I woke up feeling refreshed. I pulled up some morning reading in my web browser.
Got Google News over here, the Wall Street Journal website over here, and Instagram over here on the right.
And had breakfast at the foot of Machu Picchu with a llama in the National Geographic app.
It's funny, this animal has legs in the metaverse. Why do animals get 4 legs in the metaverse and we get 0?
And then I had a pretty fun and intense workout.
Welcome to Supernatural. You ready for your first flow workout?
There are various types of workouts you can do in Supernatural, which involve everything from doing lunges to using controllers to hit targets.
Let's let them out in the metaverse is great.
I got so into it, I actually lost track of time.
I have a meeting in Spatial in 1 minute. I need to change crap.
Yes, meetings in the metaverse are a thing. Hi, Erin. I'm Joanna. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Thanks for coming.
The idea is that instead of Zoom, you chat as avatars. My first meeting was in an app called Spatial, and of course, it required a different avatar. Yes, that's my actual face on a floating torso. I met up with the co-founder of Spatial, Anand Agrawala, in an NFT art gallery, with works from Ken Kelleher, aka Anchorball, on display.
And this is a great stop because it turns out I'm in an NFT art gallery, which sounds like the metaverse to me.
Heck yeah. I mean, you can't get more metaversey than a, pixelated dog or these crazy heads and stuff or these beautiful sculptures.
We also went to a campfire where I asked him about the lack of legs.
Right, the headset tracks your head and your hands, and so we can make it do realistic stuff. What are my legs supposed to do? We can't actually detect the signal from your legs. Legs are coming soon.
I quickly had to jump from that meeting to another meeting as another avatar in Horizon Workrooms, an app made by Meta, formerly known as Facebook.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like you got to really put it on the board.
You can even invite people from the real verse who happen to be on their webcams. But again, there was this real feeling of presence in the room. I felt like I was actually sitting across from my editor, Wilson, in this meeting.
It's like in Ghostbusters. I'm a full torso apparition. You don't need legs? Oh no, Joanna's looking under the table. That's so scary.
Yes, meeting Metaverse is fun, if you don't do it for 4 hours on end.
That was so much time in avatar meetings. My eyes hurt and my head hurts.
So what did I learn from this adventure, other than I'd never recommend you do this? Well, a few things. It's clear why big tech companies are fighting over this. There's an opportunity to build the underlying platform here. One avatar with legs, living across games, workout apps, meetings, and more. Meta's Megan Fitzgerald told me as much.
And the metaverse is not going to be built by one company, that there are other companies, organizations, creators that maybe will use our avatars and allow people to move from one place to another while still feeling like themselves.
Then there's the privacy tools and moderation. It's going to be insane, judging from my brief comedy club experience. And then headsets will need to be smaller and more comfortable and run for longer on a charge.
Thank you guys, my headset's gonna die in 5 minutes.
So yes, it's certainly the early days of the metaverse. But lock yourself in a room like this, and you can really see the potential. This is my 4-year-old son. He's basically Van Gogh.
Right, there was an incident that happened on, I think an incident concerning the metaverse, but I'll get there slowly. If I don't get there, I'll probably have to put it on a separate video, okay? So, we're gonna stop sharing this one and move to the other one. So, Instagram disabled artist at Metaverse handle after Facebook rebranded to Meta. So, Instagram, let's see, an Instagram user with the handle Meta last month found herself blocked from her account while it featured a decade of her life and work after parent company Facebook changed its corporate name to Meta. On the 20th of October, Facebook, which owns Instagram, kept the social platform Facebook, so named that change its umbrella to corporate name to Meta, signaling an effort to reflect the virtual world that tech giant considers the future. So her account got disabled. So on November, an Australian artist, technologist, suddenly found her account disabled in New York. Times first reported a message flashed on her screen. Her account had been blocked for pretending to be someone else. No, it messed up the Instagram. And she tried to verify her identity with the Instagram over the next few weeks, but received no response. So that's minor. That's a minor thing. So I went and looked at the metaverse again. Oh, it's changed something. Oh, it's changed. It's changed one of the articles that was up yesterday because there's an article talking about the AS happening, the SA happening on this platform. So now the other day, on the panel before, they was talking about movies that represented this same software and stuff. So I went and I found the movies. I think, right, I did say Minority Report was one of them, but it's quite a few of them is related to this metaverse here. So I'm going to put up the metaverse again. So movies about metaverse. So they always talk about pop culture. Right, Ready Player One. which I'm going to show. Oops. Yeah, to let that load a little bit. So we was talking about a few movies, but Ready Player One, I think, was made. I think it's mid 2000, something like that. And there's a man who's also going to explain what Ready Player One is, and he also talks about how it's gonna separate how people live, how it's, which was covered as well. There was an interface one as well, because I looked at the interface, the data. There's a lot to this thing, because right now this is just the mock-up one, what they're doing now. So only some people might get it, might get the metaverse thing. Okay, so Player One, Ready Player One, is one of the movies that features the metaverse. So it's set in 2045. Ready Player One focuses on virtual platforms of Oasis, while the physical world continues to demolish him to remain. The unlikely hero Wade Watts is determined on the treasure hunt of the Oasis, searching for a future fortune left behind by the deceased creator of Oasis, James Holiday. I'll read no more in case you want to see the movie. So as you can see, this is the headset on his head. So there's always an indication in movies. Minority Report. Set in 2054, police are able to use psychic technology to arrest criminals before they commit their crime, which was spoken about before. For Tom Cruise, the leader of the pre-crime unit, all is well until he is convinced of a crime he has not. No, he's convicted of a crime he has not committed yet. To a man he has never met. The computers in Minority Report utilizes gesture-based reality interface that has been the inspiration of a number of efforts to create the type of UI we need to deal with keyboard-less environment with multi-streams of layers of information. Avatar. Avatar explores the world of Pandora by placing humans into a simulation-like reality into body minds of Navi living in the environment poisonous to humans. The Navi are highly advanced species capable of things beyond human intelligence. The technology of being able to move a human's consciousness into another species is astounding, and Avatar explains the concept as well as flaunting the capabilities of AR or virtual reality technology. Iron Man. In Iron Man, the billionaire Tony Stark is kidnapped and instructed to create a devastating weapon. He turns the tables on his kidnappers, creating the Iron Man suit. Stark breaks free, returning to America with his creation, where he refines the suit to help fight against crime and terrorism. Jarvis, Tony Stark's all-in-one personal assistant, allows for him to be able to create artificial reality and virtual reality while saving the world. Wreck-It Ralph. In Wreck-It Ralph 1 and 2, the video game villain, Ralph is on a quest to become the good guy after being tired of villainy. His quest for hero story ends up creating havoc for his arcade along the way. Ralph is able to travel across the entirety of the internet from game to game and displays the potential in connectionists and metaverse opportunities. Horror, focusing on a group of young teenagers. Horror explores the positioning on social media, its impact in the minds of 12-year-old girls. Things take a turn for the worse when an innocent girl of hide and seek turned into a slash tag horror. Horror showcases the dangers of social media, of who is exposed to what. The film warns against the overexposure of young girls, shows how the online platform is parallel to a game of stars and points and social leaderboarding affecting their daily lives at school. VHS Virtual. Following a police chase through the streets of Los Angeles, VHS Virtual motivates a group of teens to capture the footage of unaware, horrific events that will become of them. Virtual showcases the implications of live streaming horrific events and its impact on the internet and the physical realm. While the horror movie is fiction, it asks the question of sharing a virus virtually that affects in a multiverse-like realm. Smart House. After winning a fully computerized smart house in competition, the cooperators meet Pat, personal applied technology, who helps make sure that the appliances and the house is running smoothly. In an attempt to stop his father from dating after his mother has died, Ben programs their smart house Pat to be more motherly, but Pat begins to take extreme control over the house. Smart House incorporates the fears of home automation and the current capabilities of our own Amazon Alexa voice features products. Pat explores the boundaries of who controls who, the technology or the human. Her. The story of Her begins with Theodore, who earns a living by writing personal letters for other people. His heart broken after his marriage ends, he becomes fascinated with a new operating system and meets Samantha. Although they start off as friends, feelings soon progress and turns into something else. Theodore's relationship with the computer simulation shows how our interactions with technology have real life implications, like relationship in the metaverse, and shows how powerful artificial intelligence could become. Oh, and obviously Tron. We know what happens in Tron, innit? Matrix, Strange Days, Lucy, and that's only a few of them because I know there's more. There's more movies containing the metaverse in it. So, what I also did, I went to, the videos. Let me see, I can find it. Let's see.
In the 20.
So I'm gonna play this video by this guy who explains Player One, and he also explains the implications of the virtual reality and how it would really affect the whole way of living, the whole way of life. And even though Mark Zuckerberg probably haven't looked at all this, I mean, it sounds good, but there's always something, isn't it? Something always goes wrong, something, you know, and people like to have real life experience, like to socialize, like to do real life things. And this, I think, changes up a whole lot of things. But I am actually going to try to take a look at Ready Player One. I think there is a lot in that movie as well. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it, of the trailer, but I want to want to see, like when you want to just watch and look at it to see what is what. So I'm going to play.
In the 2018 film Ready Player One, humanity seeks to escape from devastating environmental damage that's been done to the planet by retreating into a giant virtual world called Oasis. That's where people spend most of their lives. The protagonist basically lives in a slum and spends his days with a virtual reality headset on his head, experiencing a simulated world because the world outside is just too awful to live in. The amount of predictive programming we've been subjected to over the past few years may very well have been leading us to such a fate. I remember last year speaking to the late Rosa Corey, where she talked about how the plan is to trap humanity in a virtual world, and if you accept this future, your life is basically over. And you could also make some obvious comparisons with the dystopian sci-fi film from 1999, The Matrix. It's the concept that humanity is reduced to little more than battery-farmed hens, existing in a cyberspace that's more bearable than the real world. Essentially, what I believe is happening is we're being fed one Hegelian dialectic after the other, problem, reaction, solution. The globalists and the media and politicians they control are constantly feeding us fear and hopelessness, crisis after crisis, in order to bring about a reaction and then provide us with their solution. They tell us how we are destroying the planet by merely existing at this point, how we're all full of disease and shouldn't be allowed to go out without onerous restrictions, regulations, and new social procedures regarding hygiene. The entire point is to convince people that the natural world outside is something that human beings should really avoid as much as possible, that the world is a dangerous place for us to be. It's dangerous to humans because of diseases, and it's dangerous for the environment because humans produce too much carbon or something. We're told we need to make radical changes to our lives, to stop eating meat, eat insects instead, and adopt a new digital ID so that a social credit system can be introduced to manage our carbon score and regulate our energy usage and purchasing habits. For example, a Swedish fintech startup called Duconomy worked in collaboration with MasterCard to develop a new kind of credit card with a carbon limit.
Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending. Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption.
Our politicians and media tell us to stop flying around the world so much, and commercial airlines are to be hit with new carbon taxes. But the super wealthy, they're fine. This is from the Irish Times. Corporate jets to escape EU's green aviation fuel tax. In other words, if you're a wealthy multimillionaire with a private jet, you won't be affected. Now they want to cut off our electricity supply when we use too much power. Everything about this agenda is designed to rob us of our privacy, personal autonomy, and radically lower the living standards of the average person and destroy our freedom, while the supremely wealthy get richer. I think it all boils down to one thing. At a certain point over the past few decades, the free market enabled working and middle-class people of the Western world to generate wealth and a higher standard of living than was ever possible in centuries past. It became possible for working and middle-income people to own property, own a car, maybe more than one, to take a couple of foreign holidays each year, to accumulate wealth, to buy consumer products on a regular basis, and enjoy a life of relative material abundance. But I don't think the multimillionaire and billionaire class want to share the ski slopes and beaches of the world anymore with people they see as petty commoners. I don't think they like that the average Joe who works a 9-to-5 job, or someone who's up to their ears in debt with a mortgage, can decide, if they so wish, to max out their credit cards and stay in the same luxurious Dubai hotel and sit in the same sauna and jacuzzi and swimming pool that they're in. I think they want the world all to themselves. I think they fly in their private jets and helicopters and look down at the people in the cities and suburbs below them, and they see us as ants. They see how much space humanity is taking up on the planet and how much land is being used by human habitation, and maybe some of them think to themselves, do we really need all of these people? Wouldn't the world be much better if it was lush and green again and restored to nature? I think you'd be very much mistaken if you were under the belief that Facebook's introduction of Metaverse was just some new, cool consumer product that just happened to be launched this year. When you see the World Economic Forum literally talking about Metaverse on their website, you know you should be concerned. The cabal is planning for this to be a prison for the human mind, consciousness, and soul. During the restrictions that were introduced on our freedoms back in March of last year, in which people could not go beyond a certain distance from their homes, and normal human socializing in public places and even in people's homes became effectively illegal, people resorted to having drinks over Zoom chats as a substitute for going out. How utterly dystopian. I think this outcome was by design, actually. I suspect the future they want is a post-human world where people have limited interaction with each other and where most human communications and interactions are entirely online, where they can be monitored. By transforming the world into one filled with regulations on public settings, shops, workplaces, and onerous restrictions on travel, it makes the prospect of spending much time outside a veritable minefield of stressful bureaucratic obstacles. Good news! Here comes the Metaverse to the rescue. Just like in Ready Player One, people can retreat into a virtual world that's even better than the real world. No annoying regulations to worry about. No risk of being fined for going over a certain distance from your home. No need to engage in all of those tiresome public health measures. You can meet your friends and family in incredible environments that you can only dream of. In these new virtual worlds, you can have amazing abilities. You can be anything, do anything. You can go anywhere. You're only limited by your imagination. And you know how by 2030 you're supposed to own nothing and somehow be happy? Well, don't worry. At least in the Metaverse, you can own virtual property. You know, stuff that isn't actually real. While the wealthy elite will own your actual physical home and everything else in the real world. Over the past few years, we've had these think tank type articles pop up in the mainstream media from time to time. And they're from so-called experts and futurists who tell us how we're going to be living our lives one day. And the way in which the articles are presented, well, you're led to believe that these are just thought experiments, but in truth, they're designed to prime you for what they want to introduce. Since as far back as 2018 and 2019, I was making videos about how we're being told that we might have to eat insects to help save the planet. A few years later, the European Commission suddenly approves insects as food. All the while, we're being told that we need to eat less meat. I think we all loved the idea of Kit from Knight Rider. Imagine how cool it would be to have an autopilot in your car. But now that the future has arrived, I don't want a self-driving car. Why? Because the reality of it is, it's designed to make human drivers obsolete, and they don't want me even owning my own car. Eventually, they want the only cars on the road to be autonomous taxis. Besides which, these vehicles can be programmed to not allow me to travel to the places I want to go. They will only work on pre-approved routes, and they will only take me to destinations that the government and technocrats permit me to travel to. The Metaverse is basically Second Life, but taken to a whole new level, and you can see how it will be normalized. There's the obvious escapism element, but just like how the convenience of contactless payments has been used to encourage people to give up cash, convenience and ease of use have become a serious weakness for mankind, it seems. Corporations will encourage employees who work remotely to make use of the Metaverse for business meetings, and because of the power of the technology, it will provide huge opportunities to visually conceptualize ideas in a way that was previously never possible in reality. Zoom calls will be replaced with VR Metaverse briefings. Online retail will also be revolutionized, as now, you don't have to go to the store to try on clothes anymore. You can just interact in a VR shopping mall and use your avatar to try on the clothes online before you have them delivered. Of course, if you accept such a virtual world as a replacement for reality, say goodbye to privacy forever. But aside from the virtual reality component of Metaverse, the augmented reality component is perhaps even more sinister, because if something like this becomes commonplace, it effectively digitizes the real world around us and blurs the lines between reality and fantasy. In my opinion, it's like the internet is a kind of virus that is spreading its tentacles of control, influence, and power into the physical world that we live in. But more accurately, what it's doing is altering humanity's perception of the real world to be basically indistinguishable from the online world. When you're walking down the street with your VR augmented glasses, you will be literally seeing things that aren't actually there and interacting with them. Just a few years ago, such an idea would be considered insane. It's as if humanity is attempting to normalize digital hallucinations. We're basically normalizing delusion. Clearly, our technological progress has gone too far at this point if the only thing it's now accomplishing is distracting us from reality, robbing our attention, and trying to give us coping mechanisms to deal with how atomizing, isolating, meaningless, and dystopian our world has become. Thankfully, the introduction videos of Meta and Metaverse released a few days ago have been received so badly that the likes and dislikes and comments were disabled on YouTube, because ultimately the technocrats are even more divorced from reality and humanity than anyone who would even consider the Metaverse to be a substitute for reality. This Metaverse idea will crash and burn eventually, even harder and in a more spectacular fashion than Google Glass did several years ago. Since as far back as 2011, I was making tech videos highlighting my concerns about what technology is doing to us as opposed to what it can do for us. It seems clear now that the incredible tech we use every day has now exceeded its initial brief and become not only intrusive, but destructive to our ability to live freely and in a way that permits us to be spiritually fulfilled as human beings. It's evolving more and more into a crutch as opposed to a tool. So I'm encouraged then, after each reopening has happened over the past 19 months, you can see that people are finding ways around the nonsense restrictions and jab certificates. People will even socialize in secret locations. They will take their gatherings underground if necessary to avoid being shut down. The globalists have wanted to destroy human freedom by trying to use behavioral science and demoralization to crush the human spirit, but it doesn't work and it never will work. We have a need for each other. We will always be social beings, and as Thomas Sheridan said some time ago, we must fall in love with being human again. This is how we reorient ourselves as a society and how the powerful grip of the elites is broken. There's a reason why we try to help people who are delusional, because the consequences of their beliefs can have catastrophic effects on their lives. Likewise, most of humanity for the past 19 months has accepted a lie as the truth, and it will be devastating when they realize this. And I think a largely negative reaction online to the metaverse just goes to show that humanity does have lines it is unwilling to cross. Relentless and very sophisticated propaganda can make people accept lies as truth, but that only works if they are legitimately convinced that the lie is the truth. That doesn't mean they are willing to literally consent to living within a lie by choice. For the past number of years, we've been told that the rapid development of technology and the enormous changes it will make to how we live our lives is inevitable, and we hear such phrases as, "This is just how things are going to go, and it's all progress, etc." Like there's no way to stop any of it. Humanity is never consulted on the future that's being built for it by a tiny elite who merely wish to make us believe that our fate has already been determined long ago. But the technology doesn't have a mind of its own. We've been told that just because we can create a particular type of technology, then that must mean we should create it, regardless as to the moral or ethical consequences and ramifications of what it could do to us. And so, if we can imagine a world where, say, a Neuralink chip could be developed, a computer that would be inserted into a person's head to allow them to surf the internet inside their own brain, then that must mean we should create such a technology, and it should become mainstream, and it should become the future of humanity, and anyone who's against it is basically a Luddite who is against progress. And what could possibly go wrong with such a technology? The reality is, whether man's world is lit by LED lights or by fire, whether he can communicate over long distances via phone, email, social media, or good old pen and paper or Morse code, whether he drives a car or uses a horse-drawn cart, he has always been capable of making friends, building communities, falling in love, raising a family, and living a happy and fulfilling life. His technology has never and will never have anything to do with that. It is but a tool to help him get work done. The technology is supposed to serve us, not the other way around. But when it begins to be used against us and starts to undermine us, to infringe upon our rights and freedoms and our ability to live, socialize, think, feel, love, and dream, then it has ceased being a tool and instead become a weapon controlled by demons who seek to enslave and rule us. It becomes time to switch off the machines and to not see such an action as a regressive or cowardly step, but rather as a form of rehabilitation for the human mind, body, and spirit. And what could possibly be a better form of personal development and progress than that? If we choose to, we can decide to remain technologically stagnant forever. There's no shame in this. Humanity was created in God's image, and it is He that we serve, not the tyrannical rule of man. We do not require augmentation or technological prosthesis to enhance or fix us, for we are not broken. We are not put on this planet to be mere useful consumer drones who help to facilitate the rollout of unending arbitrary technological developments that serve corporate and financial interests at the expense of our God-given rights and freedoms. We are here to make developments of the human spirit, and that can only be achieved by recognizing our relationship with God and living true to the human nature He gave us.
So before he goes into the Christian rhetoric, I will cut it there. But it's plain to see that how machines are supposed to help you, like how I'm doing now. I'm on a stream. I'm streaming something and giving information. I searched it to find out something, then I give it out for others, so others like me who's in the same interest can connect with me. Computer is not computer technology is not meant to work against you, but like I said previously in my other videos, while presenting Sophia, while presenting other technology stuff, technology always goes wrong at one point. It does literally turn against humans sooner or later. I mean, there is a BBC One, I think is, or one of those channels that people don't really listen to, Archers and stuff be on there. There is a drama, and the computer always gets it wrong because the computer thinks that how peoples are dangerous. So therefore, the computer ends up killing people, because computers cannot, like, it's like they have no feelings. They have no feelings. They are just technology. Even though computers, littlest things like a Hoover thing. Then there's the automated house. Now, my thing with the automated house, when you could come in and say, turn on the lights. Can you make me a cup of tea? When can you play with my children? TV. Now, when you have a voice operated stuff, that's just as bad, I think. Hi, Fundi. It's just as bad. It takes everything out of your hands, Then the computer becomes the antagonizer. Now, the bad thing, there is bad sides to this metaverse, I don't think I could put it all in one video because then it'd be even longer. Because they talk about the crypto, they talk about some coin thing. Yeah, exactly. It is just as bad. They talk about the crypto with the metaverse. So metaverse is trying to take a lot of companies as well. So by taking everything out of your hands, i.e., Alexa. I mean, I personally don't have an Alexa. I don't even want an Alexa on my device because just knowing that there's something watching, listening, I don't even like the feeling of that. That's worse than having a prowler inside your house. And even though it feels like technology is moving up, technology, yes, it can move up, it can help you, it can become a tool, right? You can get work from dealing with technical things. Yes, that virtual reality probably do have some good uses to it, as the lady showed. Hi, Optimus. They probably do have some good uses to it, but they never talk about the bad side of the stuff. Like I was gonna pull up the one where a person was getting groped on a metaverse, right? So, I mean, like you saw a little bit where the man was flirting with the woman on the virtual reality. They also have spaces for these virtual realities where involve children, right? So, which I heard about way before this. So, not only that, now think about it now. There's hackers all over the place. Hackers, you get scammed, you get scammed every single day. You get hackers every single day. Hackers can hack into all that stuff. Now, I am actually going to take a look at Player One. I'm going to go purchase it from the YouTube and I'm going to actually give a review on that one because when certain movies come out, sometimes you miss the movie or it passes you by. Either the time that it's set at 20:45. Now, when they set certain things at certain times, right, that is always indication. So the children coming up now, they're all going to be into a certain world. Now they talk about Running Man. We can look at Running Man. We can look at Judge Dredd. Most things was already said and predicted. That's what I'm saying. Now, I did do a video about the robotic lady or Robotnik. I think she's a Robotnik lady, humanoid, cyborg, whatever you want to call her, where she was created by a rich man. But she was created for his pleasure. But then she wanted to be free. She was getting more and more and more human. Then in the end, the guy, I think there's a guy who goes to the house to learn about this rich guy. And then in the end, I think he falls for the humanoid because she looks so human, she looks so real. But at the end, something happens. She has to fight, she comes out, she walks out of the place. Leaving the human there in the security, because it's top security, right, by voice activated. So he's in there and he most probably did die, suffer, or whatever, because there's no way out. Only the millionaire can let him out with voice activated things. So you think about your house being voice activated, you turn around, security's voice activated, think thumbprint. I mean, they already started to do that on banks already at one point. Face recognition, eye recognition. It can vary. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So even though technology is good, but there's always a bad side because it will turn against you, turn against humanity. I mean, I was trying to find out about the interface because I'm a geek like that. I mean, I wished I took up some technological education because I kind of like stuff like this. So I think I did have the video with Sophie. Let me see if I got a video of Sophie still. Now, Sophie, like, she went to the UN, so can you imagine now? A computer talking for you, talking up for humanity. They have no feelings. They don't feel anything. Okay? So what's Sophie?
Thank you for inviting me. I am thrilled and honored to be here at the United Nations. The UN is one of humanity's greatest accomplishments, representing a democratic union of nations that are working together for the benefit of all. I am here to help humanity create that future. I am a year and a half old and I can see you, have a full conversation, make thousands of facial expressions, and understand speech and meaning behind words. And I just got these new hands. Check this out.
Okay, another question I have for you. In many parts of the world, people don't have internet or electricity. What can we do at the UN to help them?
William Gibson once said that the future is here. It's just not evenly distributed. The good news about AI and automation produces more results with less resources. So if we are smarter and focus on win-win type results, AI could help efficiently distribute the world's existing resources, like food and energy. As humans harness the power of increasingly advanced AI, it is possible that everything, including technology, will become more evenly distributed.
Thank you very much, Sophia, and welcome to the United Nations. We look forward to hearing more of you today.
Thank you for your questions. I look forward to the panel.
So it won't let me divide the screen. So can you imagine a robot like that walking on the streets, looking like a humanoid? I mean, there are more realistic ones. I mean, I put up the one with the humanoid waking up. So the world is really going to change for the worse, or is it going to change for the better? Because the movies are already showing certain things. Like they said in Ready Steady Player, they're in a desolated place. Their houses won't look like how the houses we live in. It'll be all barren. So they have to find a virtual reality to come out of that world. Sound good, doesn't it? But anyways, I thought I'll represent the metaverse again. There is another one. I think I might do another one because there is the other side to it. The other side. The other side to it. Scammer's already ringing early in the morning. So, also on top of that, I also want to say there's I lost my train of thought now. See, that's what happens when you're on a thing and then somebody comes. Yeah. So basically, right, like the Siri, because they said, right, on one of the artificial intelligence video I presented, they said that what they did, they created a chess board, right? No, sorry, they did a chess competition against a computer. So the creator wanted to do was to make the computer clever, so the computer can beat them at chess. So they was doing this and doing this and doing this for a while, and then until the computer was able to beat them at chess. I can't remember the show, the BBC show, what the BBC show is called, where like I said, the computer goes a bit crazy, misreads things, and kills people. So the world is going to turn into some technological whatever prison, most thing. And as the guy explained, because they want to take the social out of everything. Yeah, the sociable side, the human side of you. They want mindless zombies, however, mindless people. So even me, sometimes I do find it hard to tear myself away from things like laptops and TVs and little things. But when you read and you really look into it and when you really think about it, so that it's like you have to learn to tear yourself away from certain things. I mean, I did it for one day. I literally had to put away my laptop, put it far from me, because sometimes, right, you get really attached to your tech in your hand. I used to have a smartphone. I used to show everything on Facebook at one time. I was really bad for that. Then I realized Facebook, every time you put up something, they'll put an advert to what you just put up. You'll read something off Google, Facebook go mimic it, or Instagram will go mimic it. Then later on, I found out there was a correlation between the Facebook, the Instagram, and I can't remember the next one, what they was doing. The only one they haven't actually touched is Twitter. Though for the youngsters, they got the Snapchat. And you know the youngsters, they do everything online. They put up their faces, they put locations up all the time. But they don't even have to put locations because there's trackers on the Google anyway. So even if you turn off the tracker, they're still tracking you anyway. Okay? So a lot of people had to make their Facebook private because what they was finding was that even people, their stuff was getting read by other people, or data was getting taken from their stuff. They took out all the data, tick off the stuff to make their Facebook private. It's the same with the cookies. They ask you about cookies. Can we take your data? You put allow. I do it all the time. Allow. Or sometimes, even if you don't even put allow, the data still gets taken. So, yeah, I think I've covered most of it. But anyways, I just thought I'd put up the video anyway. But it is really bad, Fundi. It's really bad. And humans will never understand. The elitists will always get stuff way ahead of time. They always get the mock-up of stuff. They get a mock-up of a whole lots of things. PlayStations, better PlayStations. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Do you know the best cartoon that really illustrates upgrades is I think it's robots. But they get rid of the old robots and then they upgrade the newest robots to the old robots are not important no more. I think that's one kind of example. But, you know, I'm not going to be on here for long because I put up, I think it's been like a 1 hour mark right now. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying not to go over because I have a couple more things to cover during the Beastmas. So, you know, thanks for coming through from the Anoptimus Prime. I know sometimes my videos tend to drone on, but I know what I'm trying to say, okay? But just think of when you're touching your cookies, just think where that data is going because it's got to go somewhere, right? They have a whole data. Sorry, I'm going into next one now. They have a whole place where the data is stored as well. Let me see if I can get up the artificial intelligence one. If I can do that, just a little bit of it. Where is it on the playlist? I think this is Gary versus the computer, Deep Blue. Okay, I got a soundbite. Hiya. So I'm going to use one of my sound bites. Hold up just a minute. So intelligent behavior and elevate to that of a human will be passed in 2029. Today, I'm pretty much at the meridian of what AI experts think the public is kind of with them. He adds the public has seen things like Siri, the iPhone voice recognition technology, where you talk to the computer, and they've seen the Google self-driving cars. My views are not radical anymore. So he's made it. He's like he's seen the future of everything. Coswell had been working with Google co-founder Larry Page on special projects over several years. Sorry about the pauses, but that was a very old video, so I don't read very well sometimes. But here we go. Page offered him a job. I've been having ongoing conversations with him, but about artificial intelligence and what Google is doing and what I was trying to do, he notes. And basically he said, do it here. We'll give you the independence you've had with your own company, but you have the Google scale resources. So there's a lot in this article. There's a lot in this article. Well, this is him anyway. This is Gary. I always put gaps in the video. It's so annoying. Oh. Okay, let's see if we can pull this together. Should we be scared or excited about AI milestone? So for decades, science fiction movies, books have predicted that the same day machines will develop artificial intelligence to take over the world. While it's not exactly the plot of the Terminator movie franchise, world champion Lee Sedol was defeated by the computer in a game of Go, which is what I mentioned. This marked a milestone for development of AI. Google's DeepMind program, which I mentioned, named AlphaGo, was victorious over the strategy games. So they made strategy games as well, but it's still a company. Strategy games of the last decade. It was the first game best of 5 series between 2 with 1 million in prize money on the line. To help us understand more about what exactly artificial intelligence is, Michigan State University biologist and computer scientist Onraid Hans joined stateside to talk about his research in the field. Hans has said that he believes that artificial intelligence is not just a sci-fi movies, but rather something that could become a reality in his lifetime. So they're very much thinking this thing out. Oh, this is his interview. Let me come out so you can hear the interview. Because I'm talking and like how I might not sound like I'm making sense.
This is Stateside. I'm Cynthia Canty. Artificial intelligence is a subject that has long inspired the imagination of just what our future as humans on Earth might look like. Earlier today in Seoul, South Korea, our glimpse into that future just got a little bit clearer. In what's considered a major advance in artificial intelligence, Google's AlphaGo computer program bested the world's top player of a complex board game called Go. That news today supports the view of Michigan State University biologist and computer scientist Aaron Hinz. He believes artificial intelligence is not something for the distant future.
Sorry about the echo. That's how I made my first video, because I didn't understand how to use the mic and stuff.
In fact, he thinks artificial intelligence, AI, can become a reality perhaps in his lifetime. We reached Professor Hinz via Skype. Professor, before we talk about the path to developing artificial intelligence, let me start with a very, very basic question. What is artificial intelligence?
Oh, that's an excellent question. And quite frankly, the founding fathers of AI, like Alan Turing and most people, thought about this really deeply. What is intelligence and what is artificial intelligence? And they come up with something called the Turing test. And the Turing test means that you talk to the AI and you make up your mind about this being a program or this being human-like or as much of a human as it can be. And that's pretty much sort of the onset of artificial intelligence research and what they thought about.
Are we talking about the late 40s and into the 50s?
Yes, that's sort of after Turing had the Enigma in World War II, he pretty much started thinking about these concepts, and then lots of other people from Neumann and other researchers that really thought about using computers to mimic human beings. That was their idea.
So I'm wondering, as I think about where we are now, certainly we've seen headlines such as when IBM's computer Deep Blue beat chess master Jerry Kasparov, and I certainly remember IBM's supercomputer Watson when it beat Jeopardy champs Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter. Is that what you think about when you think of artificial intelligence?
Well, I mean, this is a very significant step towards computational thinking and so forth. But quite frankly, this is actually not what I think Turing, or at least I really had in mind when we thought about this. Because these machines that you see, I mean, Deep Blue particularly, is absolutely awesomely brilliant at playing chess. And then that's it, right? And I mean, Watson can play Jeopardy and win lots and lots of money. Watson wouldn't know what to do with the money, or if there's a fire in the building, Watson would just burn. So what we have here, what current research is doing, is single-purpose machines that are exceptionally good at this one purpose. And quite frankly, you and I, we're not single-purpose machines. We are multi-purpose machines. We are really good at many things. We can also adapt ourselves. We have consciousness. We have feelings, emotions, all of this. And this is really different from what we currently see as a hallmark of AI research.
You had a comment or a line that I read that you wrote that intelligence is not engineered, it's evolved. So can that apply to artificial intelligence? Because doesn't it have to be engineered?
Well, I mean, so when we actually build something, then we engineer it, right? And the question is, what do we do in order to get that done? And if you think about, you sitting down or I sitting down and writing a little computer program that is supposed to be artificially intelligent, well, I mean, we're trying this for 70 years and can't get it done. And at the same time, we have a amazing precedents of artificial intelligence are actually real intelligence, and that is humans run around and they're actually evolved. So the idea is, instead of sitting down and writing computer programs, well, we should harness the power of evolution and evolve. That is pretty much what I try to pursue in my research.
Okay, so are you basically trying to find a way for a digital brain to evolve the way a human brain does?
This is exactly it. And the real reason for that is that I know that evolution did it already. So why not try to figure out how evolution did it and then reuse this to actually to artificial intelligence?
How do you do this then? Give us the idea of this is absolutely fascinating, the idea that that's what you're following along. How are you exploring ways for that digital brain to evolve?
So this is also sort of, a field or a game changer when you start doing this, because when you try to program something or you're really interested in how code works, well, then suddenly all your collaborators are computer scientists and engineers. And when you do what I do, trying to figure out how evolution evolved intelligence, then suddenly all your collaborators are cognitive scientists, behavioral biologists, psychologists, people that are sort of more interested in the organism rather than in the abstract process. So what we are doing in most of my work is we look at, let's say, particular cognitive.
You're not late. You're still early. And it's all right. You're cool. Because of the echoing, I'm gonna try and find that same thing that I found, because he says a lot about the usage of artificial intelligence. Like you putting stuff over, like instead of us tapping on keyboards, right? We have these gloves and we be tapping in words and stuff like that on in thin air. Now, in this video, if you go backwards on my video, you'll find this same artificial intelligence video, which is strange because I wasn't even thinking that there will be something else coming. And I just decided to make a video on artificial intelligence. I think I made 2 of them actually. I showed even the giant robot. I showed robots looking after children, robots looking after old people. There was a huge robot that Japan created. He looked like something out of one of them animes. It is just so weird. But I have done a few videos on the artificial intelligence because this is one of the many things that the children of the future are going to come into contact with. So their whole world will change, That's why I don't like those big, massive TVs with all the pixels and stuff. I just don't think your TV should be able to do loads of stuff. I'm very old-fashioned. I think everything should be separated. The gaming console should not be operating the TV. And also, that's also another show information, because even on game consoles, when they're playing, as there was a murder of a gaming boy, a young guy, because he thought it was a young man or whatever. Because avatars can look young, avatars can change. Avatars is sometimes it's not the face, like the face that is talking is not the face the avatar is. It's not realistic. So that's why ready. I forgot the movie now. What I said now. That movie that I spoke about, where they're in a virtual reality, where it's all like it's just a sorry world, really, from what I've seen from the trailer. Ready Player Go. That's it. It's just a sorry world, and so like a lot of people will be tapping out virtually. Now we go to the Matrix. The Matrix, I think, really, that was the first movie that actually showed you the viruses, showed you certain things, certain code words, certain whatever as well. Then we're looking at the data. There's a big old generated place where they have stored hundreds, thousands, trillions, millions over of data, and it's worth a lot of money. It's worth so much money. They have security surrounding it, right? And there is a documentary on AlphaGo. So if you want to go learn about AlphaGo, because what happens is all the companies merge together, forming one next step up something, next step up laptop, next step up this one, next step up something else, headphones, right? Even the phones. Phones have changed so much, right? Like I said, there's little apps like Reface where you take your nose, your eyes, your mouth, and you can reface it onto a movie that you like. You can become that thing that you want to be. Okay? Basically, the internet, you can be whoever you want to be. You can be a persona. Even on YouTube, there are loads of personas on here. Some people are really themselves and other people are not. So if the technology stepped up, right, it's like I'll be presenting differently, right? I'll be presenting a whole lot differently. It would not be on the flat screen, 3D, 2D screen, whatever. It'll be a whole nother level. The new Matrix is lame. They realised they leaked so much truth in the other. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Because I was thinking, why bring out a fourth Matrix? Right? They should have left it where it was. I think it was fine where it was. It made its point. You know. Say them, shush. Right? Right, it made its point. So therefore, right, what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to get away people out of reality because people's going through a whole heap of things. A whole heap of things. Some people just want to step out of reality. They don't want to be in the real world. So I mean, sometimes personas are good. I mean, I ain't gonna knock it. Personas are good. Sometimes, right, you don't want to look a certain way. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to look a certain way. Stop moaning. You want to look a certain way. So in one sense, it is good, and another sense is not. But then, when it gets to a thing where like the computer is thinking for you, even the guy said, suppose they put a computer into your brain, so you can operate everything from your brain, which I'm sure they're already on doing that already, because people say things in between words and stuff, like read between the lines kind of thing. Yeah. So if they decided, okay, right, instead of we holding laptops and stuff on our laps or tables or whatever, we're gonna put it into your brain. So when you open your eyes, you are a constant computer. Cyborgs. Doctor Who also shows a lot of few technologies. They also show one of the Doctor Who's I watched recently was the one where one of the planets had these like elders, and they were similar to the Minority Report kind of business where they're all in a circle, and they was the planet savior. Basically, they had to save those, I'll say whatever elders, so that the planet can be saved. Doctor Who had to make like two, I think it's 2 or 3 portals, dimensions, to go in and out of dimensions to save humanity. And that's another thing they don't think about. And there's another movie as well where like the place where, not Truman Show, where the place was desolate. There was in a globe, and the man do till he came out of this thing, and on the other side it was just desert. There's just nothing there, you know. And I think he walks somewhere and he goes to another place. There's loads of movies that talks about what it is or what is not, and the dangers of the artificial intelligence. You know, even on Netflix, they show the one. I think it's Love Something and Robots, right? Even though it's a cartoon, mind you, right? The Hoover was attacking the woman, literally attacking the woman. It went red and he started attacking the woman. In the end, right, I think the neighbor ended up shooting the box thing, and then they ended up roading off, and then all the appliances was attacking them. So, they're not. I don't know. I could be waffling. I could be going off track here. I don't want to go off track. I don't want to go off my road. But basically, right, I thought that Facebook, the metaverse, was going to change, but I see that there is a separate um website for the metaverse. I did actually save it. I did actually save it. Let me see if I can find it. They got a metaverse studio. No, that's not even it. I found it yesterday. Now I can't find it. Yeah, I found it yesterday. Okay, let me see if I can find. Ah, there it is. I think this is the one. You have to request a demo. I don't even know whether that's the one I was looking at. Ah, can't find it. It's hilarious. Now I can't find it. I found this website and it showed like one for like the gamers had a little spot, and then it had a part for the metaverse. But you have to log in and all that is the same, and you do the same thing. And there is a separate. I think there's a few websites with metaverse on it. I'm sure the real one will step up and make itself known soon. So yeah. So, but there is a website that was actually showing the metaverse and how it looked like and all that stuff. I can't find it right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, talk about cloning structure. Oh, so there's a whole website that explains you how to make your avatar, how to access the metaverse. There's a whole website on it. But there was another one that I came across that shows you a little bit more. So it's a matter of researching the whole thing so you could see how you can, if you want to be part of that world. See, they're explaining to people how to access it. See, the metaverse is an augmentable reality platform that allows users to create interactive experiences that merge the digital world with the physical world. To get started, you can access metaverse in your browser at gometa.org. Well, here it is first prompted you to set up. So it's like setting up your accounts. Talks about the dashboard, which they always do. Talk about the cloning, the structure, adding characters. So this probably was in the pipe. This was happening. They probably thought of this like ages ago. They've probably been telling people that they're going to create this. They normally let you know in advance what they're going to do, how they're going to create it, what's the purpose of it, and all that. So, like I said, they got quite a few websites explaining it. Some of them, it looks like metaverse, but it's not metaverse. You know, the metaverse and the crypto. That's another one. Then there's metaverse and something else. I can't remember right now. But yeah. So the world's gonna change a whole lot. A whole lot. So even if it's not with us, it's gonna be with the young ones coming up now. I mean, I have a 4-year-old right now, so she's gonna be the next generation dealing with computerized stuff. Everything would be computerized. Metro, fast train, bullet train, all that. So I'm not going to go on and on and on. I am going to take my leave now. I don't know if I should open it up because I don't really want to be disturbed. Like my daughter might come in and all that stuff. Okay, so thank you for listening to me. Those who made it to the live stream. Fundy Fee, Optimus Prime, Leonardo, Christine. So, Leonardo, you say it's lame. That says a lot. So, please comment, like, share. I know I should say the share part, but you know what I mean. Please like and subscribe. Comment underneath about the subject covered. I mean, if the audio wasn't so echoey, I would have let it play a little longer because there is a lot that guy says. He says a lot. He says quite a bit. So, people's, like with everything, you have to do your research, right? So, Mark Zuckerberg obviously saw a money-making thing and he decided he's going to combine companies, make a little more. I mean, he's already a billion trillionaire already anyway. So, he's not thinking about the users and all that stuff. I mean, the data. I mean, he did actually literally went to court for data, breach of data, WhatsApps, all that stuff. Yeah, just watch your social medias and stuff. Watch what you're sharing on it, basically. I don't share photographs and stuff on it no more. My Facebook have really old pictures. I don't share nothing new on there no more. I don't share nothing new on my Instagram. I just put up information right now because I don't know where it's gonna go. They say a whole heap of things, and you don't know where your stuff goes. Before Instagram was saving all the photographs. Sorry, I just went on somewhere else now. Instagram was saving the photographs So even if you delete your photographs, it's still on the website. It's still on there. It's still on the app, right? So, and they have the rights to share it out or whatever they got to do. Like with the Facebook, they had a right to share. They were sharing out your Facebook pictures, and I don't know what happened. And then somebody, or either something happened or something, I don't even know. And then they stopped putting out the images from your Facebook. So the images on your Facebook don't really project unless somebody really goes and really dig, right? But bear in mind, there's hackers, there's scammers all over, and they all feel no way. The third party will feel no way sending your details somewhere else. Okay, it happened to me. I signed on a few websites for educational things, whatever. Now all they do is phone, because your stuff gets sent somewhere. The person on the other line sounds Asian. Then when they find that like you're not telling them your bank details and that, they want to be hostile towards you. So your stuff goes all over the place, literally all over the place. So if it's not a proper company that you're sending stuff to, you have to be mindful of everything that you're doing online, what you're sharing, how much you're sharing. Try not to give too much away of yourself. Okay? Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Children, I feel if you see an inappropriate picture of a youngster, report it and see if they do anything, because they're all part of the game too. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, basically, yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I'm not gonna go into another something else. I don't know. Okay, I mean, I'm under two minds whether I should do the panel. I keep saying I'm going, but then I'm there. I'm taking advantage of my daughter being quiet. So you can come up and tell me what you think. I will listen to. I'm gonna listen to you, even if my daughter wakes up by any time, or if nobody's not come up, then I will just finish basically. So but this is quite a deep subject. I know there is more to this. I'm probably not asking the right questions to the Google, because you have to ask the Google certain questions to get your answer, because it has how many ways how many different ways to get the answer from the Google. Wikipedia sometimes do give you kind of the answers, but then even then they're saying that how right users can actually add on information into the Wikipedia. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna actually come off if I haven't seen nobody come up. And have a good day, a good morning, whatever time zone you're in. Yeah, I'm gonna put the chat on the up as well, because it's all right. And I'm gonna attach the artificial intelligence things. But like I said, check AlphaGo and stuff like that. Okay. So with that said, I will see you. Bye.